that we have thought about like for a while now is how the current education systems need to change just to make room for these possibilities and just have a broader range and like more bandwidth for all these different kinds of people that are in the system right now. And how like it's a scary thought that if you're that the job that you might not might end up working on doesn't exist right now, but you're still choosing a major, you're still choosing your line of study, thinking that that'll be your future.
Yeah.
So like in a way, you're like narrowing your vision, even though you do not know what's at the end of the tunnel. Like you need to have that broad context perspective. But
yeah, well, I think that's I hope that's a space that universities can go to and allow for more interdisciplinarity and not have silos in departments or disciplines. Like there was a time when you could be a philosopher and, you could do medicine and philosophy and, poetry, and that was the norm. And then people started to specialize a little bit more.
Right.
I could not have predicted in the early 90s that the job of social media influencer would exist.
Or like a professional gamer.
Or a professional gamer. Like, in retrospect, it's kind of obvious, but it's always easy to see in hindsight, right?
Right.
But yeah, there's going to be like professions that did not exist. And even professions that we do know are going to change drastically. Like if I'm a lawyer or a doctor and I have a tool that helps me, find, a case that might help me or that forms the argument for me, or if I'm a doctor and I don't have to do the searching anymore, like, do I have to memorize in medical school? Like, how does that change the profession? It's going to significantly change some disciplines over time. And we have, algorithms right now. I think somebody performed one of the first, I can't really call it a movie. It was pretty short, but it was written by, an algorithm. Like all of the dialogue was written by an algorithm.
Right.
And at this university, we had the first ever, piece of music composed by a computer. And, that said, we haven't seen that much of that since, right? Like it happened here. It happened pretty early on. There hasn't been that big of a revolution in that space, but maybe it'll happen now. We have seen art generated by, OpenAI type tools, and we have seen people furious that they've won contests over humans.
Right.
So seeing that dynamic play out is going to be interesting too. And also who gets credit? Like, do you give OpenAI, credit for, writing a paper with you? Are they a co-author?
Back propagation is the winner.
Yeah. I mean, it's remains to be seen.
Yeah.
We should ask GPT-3 if it wants to be credited.
Yeah, it's it's there, and there's going to be lots of similar, lots of many similar tools to it.
Right.